10 years of torture, sexual abuse and neglect. That's what 5 children endured before one of them escaped. And the full horror of what the children had lived through made headlines around the country. Today, their parents were found guilty on a number of charges relating to the ongoing abuse. Mia Spies reports that finally there is some justice for the children who lived in the Springs House of Horrors.
The Springs horror was revealed 4 years ago when a young boy from this house escaped and pleaded with neighbors for help. Behind these walls, 5 children were held captive, tortured by their father. He used a shock stick, blowtorch and sjambok, abusing them every day for 10 years, while sexually abusing his eldest daughter as well. On Thursday, the 39-year-old man was found guilty on charges of attempted murder, the rape of a minor, possession and dealing in drugs, and defeating the ends of justice. His now ex-wife, who witnessed the abuse, was also found guilty on charges of child neglect, obstruction of justice, and the possession of drugs.
The evidence of the witnesses, as well as the expert evidence, and the evidence of the accused itself proved that she was subjected to this ill treatment, tantamount to torture. We are satisfied with the court's judgment. It was a good judgment, well-balanced judgment.
The children's mother says she hopes to one day be allowed to have contact with them again. The mother's bail has been extended while the father will remain in custody until sentencing proceedings scheduled for early October. Mia Spies, Pretoria.
Parents in Cape Town are being urged to be extra vigilant. This follows the abduction of 2 schoolgirls in recent weeks. As Leanne Jansen reports, law enforcement officials have since been placed on high alert.
It seems like business as usual, but the increased number of traffic officials is out of the ordinary. They've been searching random vehicles following reports that young girls are being preyed on by someone or a group of people in a white van. It's believed 2 girls between the ages of 11 and 18 have been abducted from outside their schools in Zonnebloem over the past 2 weeks. In the first case, the girl had been snatched, drugged and allegedly sexually abused before being dropped off near the school a week later. In the second instance, days later, a primary school girl from a nearby convent was also abducted, although she was held for a few hours. There have been no reports of further such incidents in other areas. The Western Cape Education Department has expressed concern, urging parents and pupils to be vigilant. The police say they've noted these reports and call on anyone with information to come forward. In the meantime, parents who suspect anything untoward should contact the Western Cape Safe Schools call centre on 0800 45 46 47. Leanne Jansen, Cape Town.
And here's a quick look at other stories making headlines today. President Cyril Ramaphosa will set up a commission of inquiry into the Public Investment Corporation. PIC CEO Dan Machila has been embroiled in a scandal, accused of misusing funds. That's PRC rather. The inquiry will review the PRC's governance and operating model and its investment decision-making framework. Transnet is serving CEO Siyabonga Gama with a suspension notice. He and 2 other senior officials have until Monday to give reasons. They should not be suspended. They're accused of unlawful conduct relating to Transnet's procurement of more than 1,000 locomotives. The Hawks are also investigating the deal. And the latest bid to oust Nelson Mandela Bay Mayor Athol Trollip has been postponed. The opposition coalition failed to agree on a number of issues. It's the 4th motion against Trollip this year.
It is a sad day that the opposition parties have allowed the business of this council to be stalled since March, basically, since March. But I want to tell you that a lot of work has happened between March and today.
Well, it is the 71st edition of the Fringe, and if you've never heard of the Edinburgh Festival, you are in for a treat. It's the biggest arts festival in the world with thousands of performances in hundreds of venues and on the streets of Scotland's historical capital. It lasts for 3 weeks and draws thousands of performers and visitors from across the globe. Hello, Shona McCarthy. Tell us what's happening at the Edinburgh Festival this year, what's trending, what everybody is talking about.
Oh, there is the usual kind of plethora of work from all over the world. There's 55 countries represented on the Fringe this year, and creativity and performances that are covering every subject, from refugeeism to Brexit to global politics to one of the big things, I think, is a real kind of exploration of gender, and particularly femininity and gender equality in the arts. So those are the kinds of subjects, and also health and well-being, being that this is the 70th anniversary of the set-up of the National Health Service.
So really reflecting what's on everybody's minds at the moment. I mean, you say it's been 71 years. How have you managed to keep up the momentum throughout that time?
I think, the Fringe Society is the organisation that underpins the Fringe. It's an open access festival and really has an ecosystem and a kind of evolutionary power all of its own. So we create the platform, but really it is the artists, the promoters, the venues, the programmers, the creative people who amass here throughout the month of August that really determine the shape and the changes and the dynamic of the festival. And I think it's more exciting than ever this year. There's a real energy in the streets of Edinburgh, and the quality.
Why is that, do you think?
I think it's partly that. I think it's partly given the kind of political climate across the world that we find ourselves in, that people arrive here and come here because there is a sense of another type of community, a community where creative expression in all its forms is uncensored and allowed to happen across the stages of the venues, the 320 venues that we have in the Fringe landscape here this year. So it's a moment in time, I guess, where people who want to have a voice and want to express ideas, however contentious, using that voice, have a platform to do so in Edinburgh in August.
I must say it is fantastic, and it's one of my favourite festivals ever. What I love about it is that there is so much to choose from, and that possibly you stumble on things that you might not necessarily choose if you were at home, for example.
Yeah, well, our campaign this year, funny, you're just touching right on that, Jane, our campaign this year is called Into the Unknown. And really it's an encouragement to people, you know, even those who've been coming to the Fringe and watching their favourite comedian or going to their favourite venue or, you know, have a level of predictability about their programme choices. It's an encouragement to people to go down to that kind of little venue or that basement bar or that completely new experience to yourself. You know, take a chance, take a risk, and find something that you may not normally look for.
And if anyone wants to break into the festival, I know that you don't choose. How are people chosen, and who makes it into the theatre themselves?
Well, I mean, we describe the Edinburgh Fringe as the biggest open access festival, a platform for freedom of expression in the world. And that's because none of us select or choose or curate the work. I guess it's like, it's probably the closest thing to a kind of social media platform, in that we create the space, we create the platform, we offer advice and support on how to select or choose or decide on which venue is right for your work. But literally anyone who has a story to tell and a venue that will host their work can perform on the Fringe.
Shona McCarthy from the Edinburgh Festival Fringe Society, and that's where we end it tonight. Let's Have It Out is next, and a news hour follows at 10. We leave you with some more images of the Fringe Festival. Good night.